he said that one of the jurors said that the members of the jury gave each other their cell phone numbers to have a group chat,
right?
Before the deliberations began.
Right.
So they basically just exchanged phone numbers. Okay, big deal. They asked the judge to look into it, and the state said they didn't want to. So the state ejected, and then whatever will happen. But
did Dan explain to you that yes, the court looks into it, but what he can do and intends to?
Yeah, I guess they can look into it too if they want to.
Yes. And even if messages are erased, they can get them.
Right, but it's like, it got reported at 6 o'clock in the morning, like breaking news, like, holy shit, like they follow this case like it's their fucking life.
Yeah. Well, it was reported more than 14 or 15 hours before that.
Oh, yeah. It was reported yesterday afternoon, but I'm saying it's like the broadcast on the 6:30 a.m. news, like it's like.
Well, what other news do they have up there?
It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just saying, I only for many for multiple reasons. I just feel like I just have to work.
I know.
No, but it's what I knew it was going to be before I even got up here. It was exactly what I fucking said it would be, and I had everybody in the world telling me, no, you're going to get a fair trial. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Like, they're going to make sure. Like, you know what? It was exactly what I said it was going to be. I knew exactly where Bray and Roman were going to go. I saw that happening. I saw what happening to me was going to happen. I saw the train coming. And I knew they were going to do whatever they wanted to do, that I didn't stand a fucking chance. I mean, Dan worked so hard on everything, like so prepared. Like he told me that in 20-something years he's never worked this hard on a case ever for anything he's ever had. Like he was like, he said if he hangs, he'll be upset. He said, I'm not looking to hang. To hang is not a win. He goes, we're going to win. Opening statements begin. We're like, holy shit, like, we're going to win. If you wrote it on a piece of paper and handed it. Like, this wasn't just optimism, like,
no.
leading up to the trial. This was like, we're going to win. Like, we're doing fucking great. We're doing great. And what did I say before I came up here? Doesn't matter if I'm innocent. Like, what they'll make the optics look like is exactly what they had to do. So when they realized they were losing, they had to turn it into Dateline. Because nobody watches Dateline without coming away with their own, thinking they figured it out. You don't understand. I'm in paradise compared to where I'm going. Listen, I'm just telling you. This was not the move. They're never going to fucking get in from the retrial. And to be honest with you, even if they did, they'd have the same bullshit evidence. And even if they did, there's no report from somebody showing up, like saying the truth. But that could be up. You couldn't find 1 and 12. It wasn't even a fucking hung jury. It wasn't even a jury that wanted to look at evidence.
No, they didn't look at anything.
No, they didn't want to waste their time. No. They just got done watching 2 hours compiled with how many times is she going to put up the same autopsy photo and leave it up while she talks? I mean, that was done to I mean, I understand you could put it up one time. Why are you putting it up twice? I mean, it's a horrifying photo.
Right.
You have Wendy, you're confirming Wendy's TV appointment that day. Wendy's got her alibi. Like, an alibi so they don't suspect you did it. Does anyone think that Wendy was shooting a gun? Like, she could have put herself anywhere else on planet Earth. She had to have a TV repairman that may or may not show up at her house at a given time. That's her alibi? So stupid. I mean, you think about it, each thing they're presenting, you know it's stupid, I know it's stupid. The jury's eating it up. They're showing evidence. It's not evidence. I'm just still in the, you know what it is? I'm still in the state of shock, even though I knew this was going to happen.
No, of course you are.
For years and years, I knew that if I went to Tallahassee, it was going to be a joke. It's been the biggest thing on the news for years and years and years. But you got Dateline in 2020 coming to Tallahassee to do put them they're on the map for this. Tallahassee doesn't make national news for anything other than Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
You know, this is making national and world news. They could have brought my dog up here and they would have convicted him.
Oh yeah. There was no justice here. This is not any form of justice. This is vigilante justice, but this is not justice.
Oh God. I'm literally just in shock. I'm in shock, but I'm not in shock. I'm in shock and anger.
It's shocking. Yeah.
Like, you don't understand where I am in paradise compared to where I'm going. I don't know how else to say it.
I know Dan is going to try to work on getting you in at least a decent place with people that are not what you're expecting. So he's going to try to do.
Well, I know what I'm expecting. I'm going to be around all people with life sentences. They put them together. They do not put them with other inmates. These are people that are never getting out.
I'm talking about people that are high profile or cops or those kind of people.
That's what they're going to have to do. Our high profile cases with people, they can't put them with other inmates because they'll get killed. So hopefully there's a camp and they'll be put with other, but they separate people with life sentences. They're separated. Oh, well. This is unreal. I mean, they didn't even fucking deliberated longer for the part of the school shooter than they did me.
And he really killed people. A lot of them.
Yeah. Me, you got witnesses showing up and lying. Like, no, look at them. Look at the text. Look at some angry emails. Crazy emails in her book. And I'm calling the home phone number. And driving by the house. Like, all things that have nothing to do with what happened. Not 1 in 12. And that's with somebody who did the... Have you ever spoken to Josh Dugan?
No.
Okay.
Read about him. But no.
You read about it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he didn't send somebody down here. He came down here himself and did it. I mean, this is on his whole turf, and he knows Tallahassee. Like, he lives in Tallahassee for, what are the chances of him having lived in Tallahassee for 4 years?
No, I know, that's really weird.
I mean, he has like this institute at the Cordoza Law School. Cordoza's a big school, a big name school, right?
Oh yeah, that's the Cordoza School of Law.
It's like, and you're not going to get someone who knows Tallahassee better than someone who's lived here for 4 years. I mean, I know it was 25 years ago, but he fucking knows Tallahassee. Dan even said to me, but when he was interviewing people, he said, like, when he was doing his thing with the jury, he's like, he's much better at this than I am. He just, other than hiring me, this is the best money that you've spent so far on the case. So I said, felt great. Had the investigators, had Dan, had Kate. It wasn't like he was doing this by himself. Had Dan, had Kate. He was running ideas by everybody. He was an iron fucking law firm. He was running ideas by people that weren't lawyers. I mean, every time he got on a bicycle, he was talking to the guys that he played with. He was talking to his tennis player friends. He was, you know, calling me up all excited all the time. I talked to him. Great news, great news, great news, great news. Huge day today. Great news, great news, great development, found this.
Right. Right. I know.
Like, I mean, nothing but like.
Charlie, you know, in a normal jury, this would not have happened. This would no way have happened.
Yeah. And that's why I was never going to get a fucking fair trial up here. Never. Never. I hung around for fucking nothing. It wasn't even close. And you're talking like I was in my best mental state. You know how much time I spent meeting with Dan? How many days Dan came up to Tallahassee and like spent the whole day with me? I mean, this was done with like with no expense spared, pulling out all the stops, like putting in 110%. I mean, Dan, for all intents and purposes, like stopped working on all other cases. I mean, he did little things here and there, but he stopped working on all cases. He put 110% in my fucking case. You had a co-counsel that was fucking brilliant that was helping him. I mean, you had Josh Dubin. You had investigators. Like, it didn't even come close to even mattering. Didn't even come close. I mean, the coverage up here was insane. Insane. I don't know how you can have a trial in a town with this much coverage. I mean, but I think wherever I go, there'd be bloggers, and I think Cappleman will show up with her same 2-hour presentation going, come on, guys, use your all common sense. Use your common sense. Even his best friend, even his sister, even this, the text messages, the emails. Oh, look, they're like best friends. Oh, he still dated her for 4 or 5 months after. Like, no, I broke up with her that week. I said I broke up with her that week. I started dating Whitney. We were done. Like, why do you keep telling me that we were together for 5 months? That's not what I said. That doesn't support it. It's okay, we slept together one time 4 months later. That's not we weren't in a relationship for 5 months, and we ended things that week. I'm just in shock. Dude, I gave my shit away on Sunday thinking I was coming home to everybody in my life. I literally feel like tension around my neck like you wouldn't believe. I'm just in shock and disbelief. I know it's going to go from it's always shock, then anger, sadness.
You're going to have every right to be all of that because it's a miscarriage. It's a miscarriage.
Like, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm depressed. I look like shit. I literally look ash white with dark circles under my eyes.
You haven't been out.
Yeah, so hopefully there's a camp that they have that just, that's what this guy said, is that there's this place where they have of just like, you know, but it's going to be maximum security. I'm not going to go to a low security compound. I mean, it's going to be doing life sentences, get maximum security.
Who is telling you this about, you know, that there are places that have more security and that, for high-profile cases or police officers.
Yeah, I heard it because when I was at the courthouse and I was in my jail cell, a guy who was across the hall in a jail cell was got a life sentence, and he got his case back on appeal. He'd been in prison since 2008, so he was here for his appeal in Leon County. So they brought him back. He was wearing when they bring you back in, you wear your prison uniform. So he was wearing his prison uniform. He looks at me and he goes, "You Adelson?" The black guy. He goes, "You Adelson?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh man, good luck. I heard about your case." I go, "How'd you hear about my case? You've been in prison since 2008 in another county." He goes, "We still get the news. Know what goes on." I was in my pod talking to somebody who was in prison for 10 years. You know what? He knew about my case. They talked about it in the prison that he was in. It's unbelievable what my life was and what it became. And I'm going to be honest with you, this ain't changing overnight. And everything is gone. Like, let's be honest, everything is gone. There was no way I was getting a fair trial up here. There is no way on God's green earth.
When we saw the trial and we heard Ben and we heard you and she was away, and everybody said, "Look at what just happened. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. No way." And then they didn't deliberate.
No. They had a mountain of it was my dad's birthday party, my mom's crazy emails, my sister showing up, me calling her landline. Yeah, I was pulling into Adam's garage. I was going to be getting in the elevator. I get shitty cell service, so I'm going to call you from a different number. Like, I wanted her to pick up if she didn't see it was my number from my cell. I know I get bad service in that building. Like, I'm still calling the cell phone number. I'm not hiding. I didn't say, "Hey, Katie, give me a different number to call you from, and I'm going to call you from a different number." That's when you want privacy. I did put a mountain of bullshit with the autopsy photos that they kept putting up, upsetting people, the media. They're going, "Come on, guys. Just use your common sense. Beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't mean, you just have to, like, if you think he's guilty, then he's guilty." Like, no, beyond a reasonable doubt means you have to think that, is there any other way this could have happened?
That's right, but that wasn't told to them, and that's what I don't understand. How she gets away with the last word saying that, because that's incorrect.
It made it seem, honestly, like, yeah, I think the Chiefs are better than the Dolphins. So. Like, is it beyond a reasonable doubt that the Chiefs are going to win? No, not even close. But would I say, yeah, I'm pretty sure that looking at everything, I think the Chiefs are better than the Dolphins, for sure. From an outsider, I get it. You put lots of circumstantial stuff together and you go, yeah, it kind of looks this way. I get it. But does it mean that it couldn't have happened any other way? Not with Wendy showing up at Dan's house. She couldn't help herself, as Kappelman said. Wendy couldn't help herself. She had to show up. She narrates things she's narrating and giving meaning. Wendy couldn't help herself. She had to show up to make sure it was done. I guess I'm just still in shock, and it's still the whole thing of, like, thinking of getting my life back to find out that I'm not.
It's like it wasn't even 24 hours earlier that everyone knew that it go home, or if there's some crazy thing and there's a hung jury, so be it. But it was clear. It was clear that you were telling the truth. It was clear you had a ton of probable doubt. I mean, it was clear to everybody. everybody. This was not like, oh, this is going down, this is going down. It wasn't anything like that. That's what makes it so difficult.
Nothing was going bad. Dan was like, listen, the case is coming in better than he thought it would. I said, Dan, are you happy with how it's going? He said, listen, he goes, if you would have told me a month ago we'd be at this point in the case, at this point, with everybody who's testified and everything, I couldn't be happier. We're doing better than I really probably would have. Then I anticipated we're doing as good or better, as good as I could have hoped. I'm very, very confident.
In no way do I have any complaints about anything Dan did. He did what the best attorney would do, the most research that could be done, the most hours that could be put in, nights and weekends. I know he sat on the phone for hours the first 5 months that you were in solitary. He sat on the phone at night with you. And my dad and I look at each other and say, what else can we have done? Was there anything else that we could have done that we didn't do? And no, we had the best. And we had the jury consultants, we had the best. And we had Tallahassee. And they didn't listen. Listen, Charlie. Can you hear me, Charlie? Charlie, can you hear me? Charlie? Clicked off. I bet it's because it was an hour. Yeah, he'll call me back. Okay. You can make her aware now that the things that we need to discuss are private. If George wants to remain in the lobby, he can, but I have a lot of personal information that I need to give. You call her. Yeah. I mean, just say it. I don't care if she's holding up speaker. Say, George, if you need George to drive you, you can, or I'll say it in a nice way. I don't want to use this phone. She's going to call me back. What did she say? A little after 8? Yeah. I just said to Annie, I'm on the phone with Charlie, and I'll call you when I get off. So I'm not going to call. Maybe I'll call her before Wendy comes. So the things that we want is for him to, we'll talk about in more detail later. I'll tell her I thought at first you needed to come here, but I realized that most of everything we can do, I'll have to tell her we're leaving the country. They're not recording my phone. If they are, I mean, what am I going to do? I can't write it. Dan says don't put anything in writing. I can't. What am I supposed to do? Should I? I can't. So I'm supposed to call Dan, but that line is because I don't have a private line. So they can either hear me tell Dan to call Annie, or they're going to hear me tell Annie. They might as well hear me. Yeah. I mean, what's the option? Or Annie Cunningham? No, not necessarily. But I'll tell her that there's business things that Harvey wants to talk to Ron about, and it involves. It shouldn't be a whole lot of work, but it's going to be some because he's going to need to be able to contact the handyman, check apartment numbers. We'll give him all the information he needs. He'll send Ron a picture of broken cabinets, and Ron will say, yes, go ahead and replace these. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to tell her details. I'll just say Harvey will talk to him later. Call Annie Cunningham. No. I don't know if he's going to get out of there. His mind if he's there all day. You have to let him out for a show.